She hadn't eaten a single piece of fruit in 3 years. Her doctor told her to cut it out. Cut out all carbs, in fact. She had prediabetes, and fruit has sugar, so fruit was off the table. She followed that rule faithfully. She cut carbs. She tracked every single thing she ate. She said no to birthday cake, to parties, and orange juice, and apples, and grapes. She did everything that she was told to do, and you know what? Her blood sugar kept getting worse. In fact, having to increase her metformin. You know what, though? This woman is not unusual. I hear versions of her story every single week. And what I've learned as a physician, and what the research actually supports, is that the rules that she was following were not helping her at all. They were actually hurting her. So the thing that nobody is talking about, that nobody is telling women with prediabetes, diet culture is not neutral. The constant restriction, the food rules, the guilt every time you eat, that chronic stress around food actually raises your cortisol, and the elevated cortisol directly raises your blood sugar. It tells your body to hold on to fat. It disrupts sleep, which actually makes insulin resistance worse, not better. And it keeps you in this cycle where you are working harder and getting further behind. You've probably felt this. You're doing everything right. You're cutting out things, you're saying no, you're white knuckling your way through everything, and the scale isn't moving, and your numbers aren't improving. And in fact, sometimes your numbers are actually getting worse. You feel completely out of control around food, even though you're trying so hard to control it. It's not a willpower problem. It's not a discipline this is not a discipline problem. You know what it is? That is diet culture doing exactly what diet culture does. Makes you feel like you're failing, when the approach itself is what's broken. So here's the counterintuitive truth, and I need you to really listen to this. More food freedom, not less restriction, is what your body needs to start healing metabolically. So when the woman in my program that I was just talking about finally allowed herself to eat fruit again, something shifted. She started eating more fruit, more vegetables, more color. The rigid rules started to loosen. She stopped bracing herself around every meal. And without counting a single calorie or tracking a single macro, she actually lost weight. Not because she restricted more, and not because she was even trying, but because she stopped fighting her body. By the end of the 12 weeks, she was off metformin. But the entire thing that unlocked all of this, the first change, was the mindset shift. That's where everything started. So that's exactly what the Anti-Diet Reset delivers. It's a mini course I created specifically for women with prediabetes who are exhausted from dieting and they're ready to try something completely different. This is not another food plan or diet. It's not a list of what to eat and what to avoid. It's actually the foundational mindset work that has to happen first before any food changes actually stick. So inside the Diet Reset, you're going to identify specific diet rules that are ruining your relationship with food right now, many of them unconsciously, and understand why they're working against you. You're going to break free from the restriction cycle that's keeping your blood sugar elevated and your body in a stress response. You're finally going to experience what it feels like to be in control around food, not by having more willpower, but by needing less willpower. You're going to build the mental foundation that makes everything else, the food choices, the blood sugar improvements, the sustainable weight loss, finally possible. This is actually the first step in reversing prediabetes naturally. Not a supplement, not a stricter diet, this. So if you've been doing everything you were told and still not getting the results, this is why. And this is where we fix it. The link to enroll in the Anti-Diet Reset is right below this video. The course is short, it's affordable, and you can start today. I designed it that way on purpose because the women who need this I designed it on purpose this way because women who need this don't need another 12-week commitment before they finally see results. You need a shift, and that shift can happen fast when you have the right framework. So if any part of what I just described sounds like your life, the exhaustion, the confusion, the feeling like you're doing everything right and it's still not working, click that link. You do not need another diet. You need to reset the whole way you're thinking about food. That's what this is. I'll see you inside.